Thanks for tuning in to Venture Connect Online. You are watching Tech, Episode 9, featuring 4 companies focused on technology and transforming the way we do business. Allstacks is a predictive forecasting and risk management platform that uses machine learning and AI models to identify risk initiatives and provide solutions. TrioLabs develops proprietary tech called resin-infused powder lithography, which enables new designs, reduces time to market, saves operating costs, and allows for high-volume, high-speed production. SENTIO, an AI to predict the probability that your candidate will be successful at your company. StrongKey, using tokenization and encryption to ensure data security even when your employees are phished or an attacker is on your network. Don't forget, these companies are waiting to hear from you, so click on the calendar links below to schedule a time to connect one-to-one.
I grew up in a small business family. My parents are entrepreneurs. We saw their own struggles. I used to come home from school and go down in the basement. It was before technology would take over any paperwork, so I'd help them file and fax. And they used to always tell me that they didn't go to college, they didn't have the university degree, but they had the street smarts and the resilience and the grit to be successful. And they absolutely instilled those values in me. I just have a passion for helping people and developing juniors. All I'm doing is interviewing them and asking them to tell me all about their business. I'm very inspired by just enthusiastic, high-energy entrepreneurs. So I think when they're passionate about a particular product or solving a problem, then that is energizing to me to be part of that and help them achieve it.
Hi, I'm Hirsch Tapadia. Hope everyone's doing well in this uncertain time, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Allstacks. We help you forecast when your software is going to be delivered. We've been experiencing really fast growth and excited to present again for the 4th year at CED, this time after closing our recent $5 million seed round. So every company today invests heavily in software. Every company is a software company, as Mark Andreessen says. But ultimately, despite this, there's a big disconnect. Every year, we lose $100 billion from outright software failures. And even successful initiatives, half of them are late and half of them are over budget. In fact, as of February 2020, 60% of project updates are still done in person, which we know today is totally impossible. We're actually playing literal telephone trying to figure out where our initiatives stand. And the problem is, development is entirely siloed. We spent the last 10 years building out our ecosystem of developer tools, and now all the data that helps us understand how things are actually going are locked away in tools like Jira and GitHub and GitLab and Slack. And it's really hard to get that data out to really understand what's going on. So what Allstacks does is it breaks down these silos. We grab all that data, we bring it into one place, and we create a single point of truth for everyone. And leveraging that data, we call outcome-driven software intelligence and predictive forecasting. We give you a holistic view of your data to manage risk, make your software delivery more predictable, and ultimately improve business outcomes. So what is predictive forecasting? Predictive forecasting is our ability to tell you the future of what's going to happen to you. What we do is we take historical work data, including work patterns, your variances from your normal, what work is left, and what risks we've identified, and we plug it into this formula. Now, let's break it down into pieces. The scope, well, that comes from product. This is your product organization helping you understand what you need to build. And your velocity, that's owned by your engineering team. That's your capacity to do work. Risk is all your externalities, things like somebody being out sick, your best developer being on vacation. And ultimately, all that boils down to, hey, you might be late or you might fail to deliver. And once we leverage this formula, we're able to give you a lot of insight into how your organization is doing. For one of our customers in our portfolio report, what we were able to do once we got them hooked up As this new chief product officer, we were able to give him a true understanding of where things stand inside of his organization. So they were going through a massive rebuild of their core product, and they couldn't build any new features until that core product was done. Well, the rebuild was taking forever, and they didn't really know when it was going to be done. Well, with Allstacks, we were able to give them the realization that they were going to be 6 months late, and they were able to make some critical decisions that allowed them to start building product again to help new customers while also paying off this technical debt so they could rebuild this platform. In a matter of days, we had completely transformed their mission and how they were going about building software. And we'd love for you to join those who are already benefiting. We're working with everything from large enterprises and regulated industries like SailPoint to healthcare companies and software companies. Just go to allstacks.com/demo and we can get you set up. Or if you'd like, schedule a call with me at this link and we can chat about how we can help you or your companies get better at delivering software. Thank you, and talk to you soon.
My first contact with entrepreneurship was really in college. It was in the late 90s, and my roommate, he was a computer science major, and he got connected with a local startup company, got some stock options, got to be part of a team, eventually a very successful team. It really opened my eyes to ways that very smart and motivated people can come together. They can create something good and new. So that's what led me down to North Carolina, where I found a firm and a community that was growing and supporting young companies. So over the years, I've been able to help many companies in the area grow from their first days with the founding team up through an exit transaction. So I think that as a strategic partner, we've been working with CED for a long time. We've seen the life cycle of these young companies, and for us, supporting CED is really supporting the entire community, the entire ecosystem.
TrioLabs has developed novel 3D printing technology to produce metal and ceramic components in high volume. Our vision is to build an industry-leading additive manufacturing company that unlocks the potential of 3D printing for high-volume production. Our initial focus is on printing micro-scale metal parts, specifically in stainless steel, as a service, largely for medical device companies. Our technology allows us to scale to high-volume production due to the high ratio of machine productivity to CapEx for producing new equipment. Micromanufacturing has many inherent limitations using traditional processes such as molding, micro-CNC, or lithography, in that there are limited designs, it's very expensive to make parts, and you can be very much delayed getting to market using these legacy processes. This is where additive manufacturing has a significant advantage. There have been a few attempts to go into the micro scale with additive manufacturing, but they've been largely unsuccessful. The value that we see in multiple markets for this technology is in producing hollow microneedle arrays out of stainless steel for pain-free drug delivery and fluid sampling devices, as well as wearable biosensors. There are any number of medical devices that require small mechanical components in order to be miniaturized, such as surgical tools and infusion pumps. And beyond the medical space, there are numerous applications in consumer electronic devices, specifically for RF components, such as 3D printed antennas, that have superior performance to legacy components. Thus far, we have validated our technology by printing copper parts on our beta machine. We have our first stainless steel production system under development, which will be able to print parts 10 times smaller than the parts that you see here. On this technology, we have a large field of IP that we're building, including 20 patents that will eventually be broken out as divisionals, filed in 12 international jurisdictions. The team is composed of myself as well as Kathy Eldridge, our COO, whose experience in manufacturing management at P&G will be invaluable to our expansion, along with Mark Ward, our VP of Business Development, who for the last 25 years has been molding metal parts for the medical device industry. We also have a set of internationally recognized advisors in the fields of materials science. We are raising $300,000 to complete our first set of production machines and begin commercialization. Following that, we expect a $2.5 million raise to scale production. From this, we will be able to grow organically. We are also seeking partners with novel applications for microscale metal manufacturing. Thank you.
My name is AJ Rakiki, and I am the CEO and founder of Charleston-based SENTIO. Now, I have to move very quickly through this presentation, so please do not hesitate to reach out to me here if you have any questions. So what we do at SENTIO is very simple in principle, but very complex in practice. We help companies rely on the hourly workforce with reducing turnover and hiring great people. So as you know, hiring is very challenging to do across all industries, but in hourly workforce specifically. It's really ineffective, with most industries seeing between 80% and 130% annual turnover. Now, it's really time consuming for operators as well as discriminatory, but most of all, it's expensive. It costs $5,000 to hire, train, and replace an hourly worker. So if you have a home health care facility with 100 caregivers, they're going to have to hire 80 people every single year. Now, if you multiply that by $5,000 per person, that's $400,000 that operator will lose because of bad hiring practices in 2020 alone. So we built SENTIO to help franchisees and operators hire great people. The way we do that is we're a screening tool where people can determine what the probability is that their candidates will succeed or fail in the first 90 days. So you want to hire people with the largest match. And so our technology really quickly determines if they have the mental makeup to be successful in the culture that you've built. Now, it's designed specifically for the hourly workforce. So it's really effective, it's intuitive, it's fast, and it's fun, which people love. And in addition to that, it connects to all hourly job boards. So whether you're using Craigslist or LinkedIn or Snag-a-Job or Talent Reef, you can use SENTIO as well. And what we're finding in our early case studies is that people who deploy SENTIO in a disciplined way do far less screening, fewer interviews, reduced turnover, and overall better hires. Now, I love this technology. I'm a product founder. It is my baby. But here are what some other home healthcare franchisees are currently saying about SENTIO. Very positive things. And if you're interested, I'm happy to send you other video testimonials from bigger brands like Chick-fil-A and McDonald's. So we got our start and received a pre-seed round from Venture South in January of 2019. And in the first 6 months, we converted the technology that we've been building for years into a self-service online platform, built out the team, found product market fit, and really started to get going. And once we found that in June 2019, our sales skyrocketed. We were able to build a scalable and proven SDR AE sales process with metrics like under $300 CAC, 4.25% SDR to meeting ratio, over 50% close rate, and at the end of the day, an 8-day deal velocity. We have people almost every day going from cold call to putting their credit card in. The pain we're solving is pervasive, and at SENTIO, it's a great price point, and we found exactly who needs it, which is the franchise space. So as I mentioned before, we're going after those operators today, which is roughly $750 million of ARR opportunity. But as we scale and saturate that particular market, our plan and our BHAG is to really go towards that hourly workforce, one that's larger than the salaried workforce. And in the next 10 years, statistics show that 95% of all jobs will in fact be hourly. So we are thinking to the future, but right now want to stay with what we know and be disciplined. So as you may have mentioned, as you may have gathered, I'm a technical CEO, Philip Sexter, United States Senate, Harvard. When I built this product, I need somebody to help me scale it. So I looked across the dinner table and said, okay, Dad, let's do this. His last company he built was $1.2 billion. He was retired. I asked him to join full time and co-found this with me. He fortunately accepted. We've been scaling ever since. Our first hire was Chad Troutman, who has 2 exits in the space, both of which were in restaurant and franchising and point of sale. So understands sales, understands marketing to this group, understands the process of getting in front of the right eyes and treating people the way they deserve to be treated in that sales process. So thank you so much for listening to me today. We feel really confident in our ability to scale this process and this business, and hope that you want to join with us. Thank you so much. That's all the time I have. Thanks.
Hi, my name's Jake. Really excited to spend a few minutes with you and talk about StrongKey and data security. We're going to talk about why do data breaches keep happening. We're going to talk about what we are doing about it as StrongKey, and then a little bit about what you can do about it. We're going to move fast. I've only got 4 minutes here. I'm excited for any follow-on conversations that you do have. So let's think about data breaches. You see them all the time, and you must be wondering, well, aren't organizations spending a lot of money? They are. Isn't venture capital spending a lot of money into this space? They are, but despite these billions of dollars, last year we saw almost 8 billion records still breached. What is going on? Well, one way to think about it is the same way you protect your house. So suppose you have something really valuable. You want to keep it safe in your house, so you decide, I'm going to lock the front door. Good choice. I'm going to build a fence around my house. I'm going to put some cameras up to monitor who's going to come in, and I may even hire a guard dog and some guard staff to make sure no one get in the place. Now, none of that is bad, but it is insufficient if you leave your valuables just laying out on your coffee table. Similarly, your organization's data is protected by a perimeter. This perimeter is things like firewalls, antivirus, threat detection and response, user training. Again, it's not bad, but it's insufficient. It can deflect a lot of mild attacks, but sooner or later there will be a breach through that perimeter. What do you do then? So why do data breaches keep happening? Well, we think a lot of organizations over-rely on protecting that perimeter and don't protect the data as well as they could. That's where StrongKey comes in. We have a product that we actually designed with the assumption that that perimeter will be breached, and when it does, our customers' data, it's still secure. That's why we say we make breaches irrelevant. We have a security appliance that is protecting organizations all around the world. Everything from credit card numbers to medical imagery, we can encrypt and protect anything. We use encryption and tokenization. We use password-free authentication, and we use our history and key management and PKI when we need to do this. What's that look like for our team? We've got 2 offices, our technical team in California and our business team here in North Carolina. Strong executive team, but most importantly, our founder has almost 3 decades of experience in this space called cryptographic key management. He speaks around the world. The state of California has appointed him to some government working groups. He is the bedrock of our thought leadership and the reason we are successful as a company. So, what are we doing about it out here in the market? Well, we have a differentiated product in an important and growing space. We took in a strategic investment in 2017, so we have a strategic publicly traded partner in Japan as our investor. Our revenue is growing, and we're getting some global traction. We have customers literally on 6 continents. They look a little bit like this. They range from startups to Fortune 40. We have a very high renewal rate. They tend to stick with us, and people use us for PCI DSS compliance, data protection, and other key management exercises. We tend to play heavy in the payments and fintech space, but beyond that, we're in technology, we are in healthcare, we're in banking and government, and size-wise, we tend to play best in the mid-cap, although we do have customers all the way from startup to very large enterprise. These customers love us because we are open source, we're easy to integrate, and our audits, we make our customers' audits rather very easy to do in a highly secure fashion. So what can you do about this? Well, if you're a developer and listening, if you're building something, we can help. We've got open source tools. A lot of them are free. We'd love to help you out there. If you're part of the investment community, well, we're not actively raising now, but we are interested in relationships. And if you're in the corporate development space, we're very interested to talk either for future investment or strategic partnerships now. We think we have a very strong case for buy over build. So I hope you learned a little bit about data security you didn't know before. Very happy to have any follow-on conversations here. Here are the ways you can get in.
Links below. They look forward to starting the conversation.